Hi neighbor, my name is Hannah. Welcome back to my channel, Pretty Hippie Me. Welcome back to Pretty Hippie Christmas. And this video is unfortunately not going to be as happy puppy fun as my videos have been so far. Although I don't know if you would call day 3 and day 4 happy puppy fun necessarily. Those are the videos about the whole situation that went on at work with the Christmas card photo and me needing to go shopping at the very last minute. That was day 3, and then the next day, day 4, was me trying on all of my options to see what actually fit me and tell you what my boss actually decided on and liked and all of that craziness. And there is a slight update to that story, which I'm very nervous to talk about, but which I need to talk about in order to be honest with you guys and to spend this December with you in an honest way. And that's really what I want to do here. All of that craziness and drama took place on a Friday and a Saturday. And then on that Wednesday, I was laid off from that job. And to be honest, today is the following Saturday after that, and I haven't really taken much time to let it sink in and think about it much because I've been focusing on Pretty Hippie Christmas. There are a lot of positives and a lot of negatives to this happening. First of all, it's honestly the most positive way I've ever lost a job before, and I've lost several jobs. To tell you the story, for a few weeks, if not a couple months, I kind of had a sense that it might be coming because our industry that I work in, which I'm still not going to name, is very interpersonal, and the COVID numbers around my area have been rising, and with the government not really doing anything for relief right now, there's not much to help those numbers go down, which has really impacted our business. And a lot of potential clients that we've spoken with have just been saying, I'm interested in becoming one of your clients, but I just can't right now. I'm going to wait until after COVID is over. We had our change of ownership on August 1st of this year, and the owners who came to take over our branch have 2 other branches that are incredibly profitable, and ours has been incredibly not for a while. They really helped us bring in a lot more money over the past few months than what we have been able to do before, but it wasn't up to their standards of what they needed to be profitable. We were still in the red after 4 months, which is kind of to be expected when you take on a new branch of a business, I thought, especially during a pandemic, but I'm not the boss. I saw things happening around me that indicated to me that if anyone was going to be laid off first, it was going to be me, because I work in administration, and basically in my type of business, I'm the most disposable. I watched one of my other coworkers starting to take on a lot more of my responsibilities, basically. And I watched my boss starting to form a better communication relationship and starting to run more things through her than me. And so for the past month or so at work, I've been feeling really uneasy and really what do I do here? Why am I here? What am I actually doing at this job? I'm here full time, but she's doing stuff that I feel like I'm supposed to be doing, but they're asking her to do it. So I'm not going to barge in and be like, I'll take that work from you, because they didn't ask me to do it. They asked her to do it. But it just feels really weird to see that happening and to look at my plate and see nothing on it and be like, well, why didn't they ask me to do it? So like I said, I kind of knew something was happening. I knew it was coming, and I knew that I was the most disposable one. On Wednesday, the owners both came to our branch. One of my bosses who is much easier to read than the other, and the one who, by the way, is the artistic one who had the vision with the photos and like didn't understand how impractical he was being about sending me out. That boss, I'll call him Mr. P because there's also Mr. C. They're either married or civil union, gay couple. Mr. P is much more expressive as a person than Mr. C, so he's easier to read. So I knew that something was happening, and I thought that he was upset with me because he came in with his usual bright energy and stuff, and he was chatting with everybody, and it was so bad. Just the normal, like, get in the door, like, hi, how are you? How have you been? How was your weekend? How have things been here the past couple days? All the paperwork that we do for COVID upon arrival. You have to get your temperature taken, all that stuff. Did all of that stuff by the door, making conversation and making eye contact with everybody except for me. So he had his form with his temperature on it and like a little health survey. And so finally he walked past me and gave me the form, because that's one of my jobs, is to like scan those and file them. And he was just like, hi, Hannah, like didn't acknowledge me until then. And then they brought in the Christmas decorations from the car, and everybody was grabbing decorations and being like, oh, I'll put this there, I'll put this there. And he's like, oh, yeah. He would not look me in the eye. I was standing a foot away from him. Sorry, 6 feet. But, you know, in today's times, that feels like standing a foot away from somebody. I was standing next to people. He would not look at me. I was saying things to him. He would not look at me. So I knew, I was like, this is weird. This is unusual. And something is happening. And then, around 3 o'clock, they called me into their office, Mr. P and Mr. C. Mr. C, who is the one who's much less visibly emotional, much more of a brainy guy than a heart guy. Mr. P is a much more heart guy. Mr. C is a much more brainy guy, I think, in my opinion. Mr. C basically just like laid it out and was like, listen, we have not been making enough profit and we haven't paid ourselves yet. And we're just getting to a point where we're not making enough profit to be able to run this place. So we have to start laying people off. And because your administration and you're not the one who's actually performing the services that people come here for, unfortunately, that means that we have to lay you off. And it hit, but then I was like, I get it. Because I do get it, because I've worked in this industry for a little bit and I know how the priorities are. And I knew that it was lucky that they even kept me at all when the business changed hands. So when they let me go, this is the update to the story about the photo. They gave me my final paycheck, and they did pay me for my time for the day that I went out shopping. So that was good to see. They gave me my normal paycheck amount. They didn't like take out any time for me shopping that day. So that was good. Woohoo. And they also said that it has nothing to do with my work. They enjoyed having me there. It didn't have anything to do with me. It just came down to the brass tacks of the numbers, and that they're about $4,000 a month short of what they need to not make any profit, but just break even. So it just had to be, and I got it, you know, from their perspective, as much as it sucks for me, because now I don't have a job and it's December. It's almost Christmas time. COVID numbers are rising. I thought this job was going to be my future, you know, my forever, and it's not, but I get where they're coming from, and it's not an easy decision. I don't know if I would have made that decision myself. I think I would have given it more time, but it's not my business. I don't run it, you know, it's theirs. So they told me They would give me a great recommendation anywhere. And honestly, like I said, that is the nicest way that I've ever lost a job before. Just knowing that I have two people who are experts in their field, basically, who I can ask for a recommendation and they will give one to me. That's very positive. It helps make the hiring process easier in the future. And one thing that was also particularly nice was that Mr. P was very impressed by my writing, which I don't think I've ever talked about this before on this channel, but writing is something that I've always, in my opinion, been good at, not to toot my own horn or nothing, but I've always, since I was like 10, I've always written books and plays, and I like writing. I like words. I like telling stories. And there was this one assignment that he gave me. One of my coworkers, who's an immigrant from Germany, he's been in the US for about 6 years. He needed to write some Facebook posts, and they just sounded a little clunky. And so Mr. P told that coworker to rewrite them. I don't remember if Mr. P told Mr. T, I know, that coworker is named Mr. T, to do it, or if he told me to help Mr. T do it, or if I just like offered to help Mr. T do it. I think I offered to help. Somehow or another, I ended up helping Mr. T do these rewrites. We were writing Facebook posts that were supposed to be like a celebration of the client's accomplishments. Mr. T wrote it in a way that kind of focused on his positive experience as a teacher for that client, rather than focusing on the client's positive attributes and their growth and their strengths and celebrating them. So I was able to help him see like, what was it actually about, these Facebook posts, and how do we shift that? And I rewrote them. And literally these Facebook posts were like 3 sentences long each, but it was something that for some reason Mr. P was just like so impressed by, and he thought they were really beautiful. So he was like, "Oh my gosh, you should be a writer. Go get a writing job, I hope." And I was like, "Well, maybe." So that's something that I'm thinking about. If you've been around the channel since the end of 2019, you know how hopeful and excited I was about this job, and I have been, and it does really hurt to lose it. That's why I have to tell you before I move forward into Pretty Hippie Christmas, because it is going to, I don't know, it's big. It's going to impact me every now and then. Different realizations come over me in waves. It's not the same as losing another job, because this really is one that I thought I could be working there for 5, 10, 15 years. And the door is wide open for me to go back. That's the thing. That's another really exciting positive about this for me, is that the boys, that's what I call the bosses, Mr. P and Mr. C, said while they were laying me off, like, we'd be more than happy to have you back. As this location grows, as we get more money in, we'll be able to support having more staff. We'd absolutely love to have you back. Please keep in touch with us. Let us know how the job search is going. If you still are finding something, or if you have found something, we want to make sure you're doing okay. And like, it's nice to hear that, and to know that maybe like a year from now, I could go back once COVID has passed and there are vaccines aplenty and everybody is back out in the world doing things. There's the potential that I could go back, but I told them I'm only going to go back as a service provider, even if it's just part-time. Like, that's how much I would rather be a service provider than be in administration again. At the same time, I am considering my career options a lot. All of the things that I'm good at and that I'm interested in are these very like nebulous artistic things, like being a writer, being a model, being an actor, being a director, being a YouTuber, the things that I have my degree in, but that are very difficult to actually go out into the world and do. I do want to go back into this field maybe, but I also, a good thing that's coming from this is that I'm allowing my mind to be more open. I've been really hyper focused on having a career in this field for a very long time. And now that once again it has not worked out, I think it's time for me to look for something else, and maybe something better is out there for me. And I don't necessarily mean YouTube. Once I reach 1,000 subscribers, there's the potential of becoming monetized. And I mentioned in my what I'm thankful for in 2020 video, the video where I mentioned that I was thankful that I had a job all year. In that video, I mentioned that I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for this channel because as my channel grows, there's the option to become monetized and to start to gain some financial independence from jobs so that things like this don't happen. But I don't want you guys to necessarily feel that pressure. I'm not making this video to come here and beg for subscribers so that I can get monetized because I just lost my job. Like, that's not a realistic way to look at YouTube and to look at monetization, because even once you get monetized, it takes a very long time, from what I've heard, to make any money worth sneezing at. So I'm not coming here to like rely on that for income. But I do want to keep doing YouTube, maybe as a way to get that artistic side of me satisfied so that I can go do like a boring technical day job and still have this as a way to use all of those parts of myself and my skill set that are very hard to find a job in. I haven't started looking for jobs yet because I'm just really trying to give myself space to rest and let it sink in, because once I get a new job, I'm not going to have a bunch of PTO to start off with. I have to accumulate it, so it's not like I'm going to be able to take a vacation anytime soon. So I am giving myself a few days here at the beginning to rest and reflect, and it's good that I've done that. And I think probably on Monday or Tuesday, I'm going to start job searching again. So, if you're the praying type, I would really ask for your prayers right now, that God would just point me toward the right job. If you know of something remote, leave a link in a comment below. I'll check it out. Ultimately, like, what I know about myself is that I want to do jobs that are artistic, that help people, or both. Like, I think something like music therapy or dance therapy, drama therapy, something like that would be amazing. That's something I would need to go back to school for, and I can't do that right now, but that's on my list of something that I'm considering. I'm also considering copywriting because I've done a stupid amount of copywriting for for someone with no technical experience. Like, I couldn't put copywriting on my resume necessarily, but I ran an online store for about a year. I have done copywriting with like social media at a lot of the different places that I've worked. So it's like, I know how to do it, even though I don't have that position on my resume. That's always my issue when I'm looking for jobs. So I have a lot of skills that the job title doesn't reflect on my resume. Anybody who's great at reformatting resumes, hit me up. But yeah, I wanted to let you guys know what's going on, especially because I think it's such a weird and dumb and like perfect, ironic, stupid conclusion to the story of me like bending over backward to to make my boss happy, to spend like 8 hours shopping for the dresses he wanted and whatever the hell. And then the next time I see him, he lays me off. It's just so like, that's how my life goes. Cherry on top. Perfect. And one thing that I tell God a lot is that I'm not great at like perceiving like signs from above. So I've said in the past, like in my prayers, like, Lord, if I'm not supposed to be doing something, I need you to like slam the door in my face, like slap me on the head if I'm doing it wrong, like pick me up and point me in the direction of where I need to go, because well, breadcrumbs aren't going to work for me. But to me, it seems like a clear sign that I need to explore other options, and hopefully I can find a way to incorporate a lot of my different skill sets into a job for myself. Like basically my brain is percolating ideas of what I wish and hope and dream that I could be able to do with the skills I have gained from this industry that I've been trying to be in for like 3 or 4 years. It looks like, at least at this location, at least for a while, it's not going to happen. So I need to try some other things. I just need to figure out what those things are. And for the things that I do have in mind already, the path to get there. I'm still going to be doing Pretty Hippie Christmas. I'm still going to be doing my best to upload daily. I also am really not going to be able to spend money on hauls. I ordered 2 hauls on Black Friday right before I got laid off. So I do have those 2 hauls to do. But basically, if you want to see hauls, you gotta help me find a job, or you gotta tell all your friends and family to subscribe to this channel so I can get monetized and I can start using the money from my YouTube channel to buy hauls for you guys. Or both, because I would love to also have a job. But anyway, yeah, so I just, it's such a bad time for me to lose a job, you know, so, I wanted to let you know what's going on. I'm kind of in this place of like exactly what you just saw happen, where like I can laugh about it and chat about it and be like, well, that's just my life. And then sometimes it just hits me and I don't know what I'm going to do for Christmas presents. I don't know what I'm going to do for January rent. I don't know what I'm going to do for a job during COVID. I don't know what I'm going to do for a lot of things. I have a lot of ideas, but they're vague ideas. And I have a lot of hopes. If you've been through stuff like this, because I really do feel like this is kind of a pivotal life moment for me, I'm probably going to end up changing industries. If you've ever been at that place before, which I haven't for years, can you just, I don't know, give me some advice on what to do? And when your resume is very specific to a particular industry and you're trying to get out of that industry into something else, what do? When you lost your job and you're job searching and you still need to make some money, what do? Thank God I don't have kids. Thank God my boyfriend started doing work as well as school right now, after we tried really hard to make him not have to do that, but then all of our loans got messed up. Any good resources, especially places where I can find jobs in a kind of more artistic leaning, any help you want to offer, let me know in the comments below. I love you guys. Anyway, that's why I cut my hair, is because I lost my job. And I'm hoping I'm going to be able to go on interviews. And my hair was hard to take care of. And it feels so much lighter and lovelier. And I feel young and free and much more like me, having it be shorter. Yeah, I've noticed that when I cut my hair, it's usually a reaction to or in preparation for a life change. So I think things are changing for me. Thank you so much if you made it here to the end. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that this suffices as a pretty hippie Christmas video. And I'm sorry it's a little bit more sad and slow than what I wanted to put out today, but I just needed to give you the updates. I love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. I hope that you are having a much better December than I am. I hope you are thriving. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you and your time and the fact that you are spending your time here with me. I'll see you tomorrow for another Pretty Hippie Christmas video that will actually be more fun and Christmassy, I promise. So much love. Bye.